Clan Chat, Aaron Murphy alongside head coach Jason Morgan. And Morgie, we're just going to get it out of the way right away. The post-game situation that everyone thinks was a situation, I'll tee you up. You did a post-game in Sheffield. We took the league's lead on that. It did not get posted after that disappointing 9-3 loss. Do you want to just give us a little bit of insight?
Yeah, I mean, it's that was a game. Obviously, my emotions are frustrated, not only with the result, the team play, but also losing, one of our key players, Charlie Combs. So it was a combination of that, my emotions were running high at the end of the game, and I spoke my mind in the press conference. And it is what it is.
And just for the record, you were fine with it being posted. We took the lead on that, and that's it. And for anyone who wanted to see passion, I can guarantee you it was passionate. Let's be honest, 9-3, not good enough, and that was the sentiment from you that evening.
Yeah, 100%. It's from the organization to our fans, it was unacceptable, and that's kind of what I voiced. And then obviously knowing that we were heading into the second leg of the semifinals, Challenge Cup against Guildford, losing Combsy, that was a big blow. So that added to the frustration and emotional side of it. And I went out and spoke my mind, and but I was happy for it there. And then obviously we chose to go the other way, so that was fine.
And let's put it to bed as well. Guildford, I talked to you about it right away. You were waiting for the post game. You kept your suit on. Just tell us what happened in Guildford the other night with the post game.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that there was no post game, or if there was, I wasn't invited to it. So I was in the little hallway there outside our dressing room. I had my suit on until the last player left, and then I even went out in the corridor and asked where the press conference is held, and they told me, and they said, but I don't think there was one tonight, or they're already gone. So I just assumed that there wasn't any.
Okay, yeah. So just put that nonsense to bed. There's another bit of rumor and conjecture I'm going to put to bed as well. Anyone who thinks, and it's a minority, anyone who thinks that whether it's me or people in the office or Gareth or Jeff Batt or you, anyone who thinks that we're happy after a loss, let's just put that rumor to bed right now. I'm terrible company after a loss. I know you are too, and you and I talk about it after. So any fan who's on any social media platform going, "Oh, these guys don't care," can you just give me an idea of what it's like after a loss in the Morgan household?
Well, that'd be a better question for my wife and kids. No, I definitely, I don't like losing. I don't like losing, period. The players know that. I'm passionate with what I do and how I perform, and obviously it's part of the game, but for me, it's almost like you have to hate losing more than you enjoy the thrill of winning. And then when you have that burning desire in your gut to not lose, and that's kind of how I am. Like, most players, unless there's a message to be sent after the game, I don't go in and chat with them after losses. It's they know they're upset. They know, like, I'm disappointed, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I just want to put that to bed, that anyone thinks we're sitting around going, "Oh, well, we had a sellout, so it's okay." I honestly don't care about sellouts if we're not winning. So, and I know that the players, if people think that the players are happy after a loss, if you're, as a fan, think that you're the only one who's upset after a loss, I'm just putting that to bed now. And I'm at Brayhead Arena plenty. You can come up and talk to me on the concourse at any time and ask me how I felt after the last loss, and I'll be quite upfront with you. You don't need to tweet at me and use the C word and the F word. Just come up and talk to me. And this is very much a minority, because I talked to a lot of people at the watch party the other night. I think we need to start knowing the names of the fans that are really happy, as opposed to the names of the fans that are using language that they wouldn't use to our faces. So we're going to move on from that. I'm just going to say, we all know it's not been good enough. We don't need to read social media for that. So in saying that, under the positives, we know it's not been good enough, but we're still in a playoff spot right now, and there's still 20 games to go. So we in the thick of it, and you in the trench, you're trying to worry about the next 20 games. You're not trying to worry about the last 20.
Exactly. I mean, we got to learn from the past and continue to grow. And we know the second half and this last third here coming up is like every team is making improvements. Every team is trying to win and jockey for position. The league is still so tight, probably aside from Sheffield, that's kind of making that gap at the top. But I mean, we're doing our best to improve the team. We know the deadline's approaching, and we're exploring the market to add bodies. We've played with a skeleton crew for the majority of the season with so many injuries and the length of injuries and guys coming back and then getting re-injured, and just the consistency through our lines and our lineup to be able to roll week to week is constantly being disrupted. So I know the guys feel it, and we're doing our best to try to stay motivated on a weekly game basis to move up the standings. And it'll just take a good stretch here. We need a good stretch of games, like a 7 and 10 stretch or something like that, where we can put some consecutive points together to move up.
And again, it's not an excuse. People like to deal in fact. The fact is that Dyson comes back and Reed Petrick is sick. We're not making that up. The fact is Combs comes back and Pelly goes out, and that has been all season long. And the strain that puts on your core group. This isn't the NHL. We don't have a farm team. We can't call Jason Morgan up from the AHL to play for the LA Kings. We just don't have that ability, and that's something that in the next decade we'd like to have the youth academies, but that's not today. So we, like you just said it, we know when the deadline is. It's not that we're not trying to improve the hockey team, but we can't wave a magic wand. And if a guy that looks like he could fit in our club, but he has 4 dogs, then we need to worry about accommodation. It's not just grabbing a guy and bringing him in. So those conversations are happening, but it's not overnight, and it's not a magic wand. And it's not like we've sat on our hands either, Morgie, because Combs, he goes down. We bring in Barry. Barry's here 72 hours. He gets sick. We bring in Petrick. Petrick gets injured. Petrick is sick the other night. And we bring in Roach. Like, we've not standing pat. We're not sitting on our hands here, but it's not the NHL where you can just call a guy up from the minors.
No, for sure. And I think with I know every team goes through with the injuries, and it just seems like, we just haven't had a stretch. Like, I think we've had 3 games all season with a full lineup to be able to address like our 14 import skaters and 1 goalie. So, that grinds on the guys emotionally, and with your core group that's, pretty much played in every game, and it's been tough on them. And even guys like Dice coming back, and he's probably only playing at 75-80% with that injury that he suffered, and same with Pelly. Like, when you break something and the bone's still healing, like, even though you're able to come back into competition, you're only at 75-80% because every time you hit the puck, or every time you skate, or someone like Sancho that broke his leg too. Like, these guys, when they come back in the lineup, just because they're back in the lineup, they're not at 100%. So not only are we playing short, the guys that are returning from injury are still not 100%, and they feel that every time they go on the ice, whether it's sharp pain or just the lack of ability to do certain things that they want to. So it's a combination of all that, but credit to them. They're still battling and working every day. And, we've had so many close games this year, like the number of overtime games, like, you win 50% of those, you're 5-6 points ahead where we are under all the injuries that we've, incurred this year. So we're still right there. And like I said, we just got to now look forward. We've learned from the past. We got to look forward now and make a little stretch run here to put ourselves in a better playoff position.
And a big game, obviously, Belfast at home, and then back to Nottingham where we had the 6-3 win. Let's talk about that, because this is the thing, isn't it? You got to have a short memory as a player, got to have a short memory as a coach. Yeah, no one is happy. Like, I was in such bad form the other night because I really believed we were going to get a Challenge Cup final. But you have to move on, because the next hurdle is 2 points on Saturday night, and that's just the reality of it, isn't it? You just got to move on.
Exactly. I mean, you always got to have a short memory, I think, in this game, and especially with the back-to-backs, and coming off an emotional loss there, where we felt we had a chance to move on to a cup final, and it didn't go our way, and then now right back into the league games, where every point is crucial, and more so for us. So big test tomorrow night. Belfast. I know they've dealt with some adversity and injuries and illnesses and stuff too, and now they got some guys away at the Olympic qualifier. So I mean, it's going to be a good challenge for us, but a very important 2 points for our hockey club.
And we go back to the watch party the other night. That was a great job. We should tip our hat to all the people, Christine and Ross, everyone who works above and beyond to make that happen. There was over 100 season ticket holders in there, and the resounding support. And I talked to, I won't tell him name. He was just a young fella. I think he was 12 or 13. He told me just loves Charlie Combs. He was so upset that Charlie wasn't playing, and so upset that that injury happened in Sheffield. But as I chatted with him and I had a chat with his family, you just see the passion there. And so these are the fans that we're so disappointed when we don't get over that hurdle for them. So again, don't think that we're sitting by going, well, it's okay because we had a sellout. We're happy to lose. No one's happy to lose. And I know that you feel it more than anyone, Morgie, because you're a dad, and when you see the young fans and all that, you want to win. You want to win for the jersey, for the crest on the jersey, and you're not worried about the noise and the negativity. And it really is the next game, next man up scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the fans, that's why we play the game, and it's entertainment, sport. And we go out and we love when the arena is full and put on a show for the fans. And there's nothing more than, we would have loved to advance to the cup final. But now it's right back to business this weekend. Two tough opponents. Like I said, there's no easy games this year. The league is so tight. So you got to be ready and earn every shift and every point, and that's what the guys are ready to do this weekend.
It's interesting you say that about Dice and Pelly. I know what's bothering or what the problem was with Dice, and I probably would have had a hard time going to work in a commentary booth, but he's out and he's trying to stir the pot. I think he nearly fought Locke the other night, and the people that are saying that the guys don't care are the guys that would be sitting back and not going to work with that injury, and there's Dyson in the trenches. Probably, would you say 3 weeks ahead of schedule with that injury for Dice?
Oh, I think both of them with Dice and Pels, both of those guys, as soon as they could lace them up to help the team, they did. And if they can give us 75% or 80 or whatever, they still wanted to do that. And I was happy to have them both back in the lineup, obviously at different times. But no, Dice is a warrior. He's a tough kid. And if he can play, he's going to play. And that's what he did. He gave us everything he could and still went out and, physical and played his game. So, but it just goes to show like the character and the will and want that we do want to win in that dressing room, and just with the adversity, with so many different timing of injuries, that's been the toughest thing, and just no consistency in the lineup.
Every team, because someone inevitably on the back of this will comment somewhere that every team goes through it, but it's what you just said there. It's the timing of these things. It's when Sanch comes back and someone else goes out, or we said Pelly's out and Combs is back in. It's the timing of these things. Let's. This is something I hate asking you all the time. Injury update on some of the guys, including Charlie.
Yeah, well, they've both been assessed today by Kirsty and the medical staff, and I think I would put Charlie and Sanchi in day to day. I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with the type of injury Combsy suffered, it's it can be a little bit more unpredictable. Sanchi took to the ice today. It's still quite sore, but he's day to day. Petey's still sick. So we'll get an evaluation on him, and then Combsy, I think, obviously every day will be he'll be evaluated, and then as far as his return, I mean, I probably put him at a week to start, and then go from there.
And these are just the obvious as the nose on your face injuries. You texted me the other day and said there's bumps and bruises, and we won't get into here because it could be advantageous for the opposition this weekend. But there's at least 3 guys on the back of the Sheffield game and on the back of the Challenge Cup that will play. But again, mere mortals probably wouldn't even get out of bed with some of the things that are being dealt with right now.
No, for sure. I mean, a lot of tough character guys in that locker room, and like I said, they're gonna, if they can play, they're gonna play. And this time of year, I think everyone's playing with bumps and bruises and sore bodies. It's part of the game, and
no one's healthy this time of year. No one's healthy. It's what you're willing to put forth, and we know that there's a lot of character and leadership in that room, and certainly just You and Jeff Bada, just talk about. I mean, you dust yourself off because you both would have been as disappointed as the people at the watch party or the people watching the web stream at home on Wednesday night. Just give us a little insight as to how a coach dusts themselves off from that and just gets back to work. Is it a cutting video of that game, or do you go straight to let's do the pre-scout on Belfast? We just got to move forward for 2 points.
Yeah, I think because it's such a quick turnaround, with that Wednesday game, and then we got the games this weekend. We just, obviously the guys, they know, they watch every game anyway through the Instat, and they can see it. But we just turned our focus right to Belfast in this weekend because I think the league points now are so crucial, and I think everyone. They had a meeting. They had a meeting after the game, and a lot of things I think were discussed, and the guys are ready to now put the effort in to make a solid push here until the end to put us in a good position for the playoffs.
And what, like you talk about practice as we record this, you're getting ready for Belfast. It's a Friday, and should give you a stick tap as well. The sickness that Patrick has, the sickness that has gone through the team again, not an excuse, but you're sick yourself. So you're actually playing hurt as you've agreed to chat with me this morning. So for anyone who thinks you're trying to skirt post game or interviews, you're actually probably should be in bed yourself. But just talk about like. Is there like the next 10 games? Is there like how do you set it out? Because like you said, you got to learn from the first part of the season, and make no mistake about it, we don't want to be an eighth. We didn't recruit a team to finish eighth. How do you look forward, and how do you get the most out of the guys? How do you get to where we should be, where we want to be in the next 20?
Yeah, I think when you go through a tough stretch sometimes, sometimes it's just to get back to the fun of the game, you know what I mean? To get that upbeat, positive, enthusiastic energy going again. And because, from start to finish, from camp, right to the end and in the playoffs, it's a grind, not only physically, but mentally. So you got to somewhat manage that too, the mental aspect that the guys go through. So today, we did some small areas, some upbeat stuff, just to get the guys kind of emotionally and mentally charged for tomorrow as well. And we're constantly doing video, pre-scouts and other teams. So, especially with such, there's no time like in between games when you're playing back to back. So as far as for Bats and I, we kind of have to take care of both of our pre-scouts prior in the week. And that's why, after the Guildford game, we kind of turn the switch and focus on Belfast and Nottingham.
How many days a week do you and Bats have off, Morgie?
0.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there because I think there's sometimes you just need to shed a light on that, and I think the guys as well, even on off days, guys are trying to get to the gym where they're living and all that. Like this is not for lack of trying. Everyone wants those 2 points. Everyone wanted to get to that Challenge Cup final. Do you have a message for the Purple Army, especially those that are positive and those that are kind of sending messages in a more upbeat, we support the club. Everyone supports the club, and I'll get more to that in a minute. But do you have a message to the Purple Army?
No, I think we have such a passionate fan base and loyal fan base, and I just really, really appreciate all their support for the guys to go out on the ice when that rink is full, and just the energy in the building and the extra energy boost and enthusiasm kind of the fans give the players. It's more than we can ask, and we've gone through this tough stretch, and the fans still come out to support us, and sellouts are close to sellouts, and credit to them. That's an amazing feeling to have for the team and the organization to have that Purple Army behind us. So we're going to need them more than ever tomorrow night, and moving forward, hopefully we can put a good stretch of wins here together for them.
So there's lots of conversations going on. There's lots of hope to try and change or shake things up or bring in a body or two. We've been trying for weeks. We know when the deadline is, but you can only try, right? And if you don't ask, you don't get. And we're certainly at that stage. So that's a positive. I mean what I said earlier as well. If anyone wants to come up and have a chat at the arena, come up and have a chat with me. And if you have a constructive criticism, come up and ask me. But the whole the swearing and all that, it's not. We're not going to take that on board, are we? We're going to take on the constructive criticism. We're going to try and enjoy our hockey and the building being full, but also it's a results-based business. So really, the focus right now is 2 points Saturday night and getting on a run here. Whether we're able to add acquisitions at the deadline is beyond our control. In certain things, we're asking, we're trying. So it really is about being positive. And again, if someone wants to come up and have a chat with you or I at any point, I'm sure you'd be up for it. I know I am.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, we've been working now for weeks trying to better the team and to find key pieces that we can add inside the locker room and for whatever reason, like when you're talking with agents and players and stuff, it's not just the fact that you reach out and know where they're going to sign. It's there's a lot of financial things that go behind the scenes and what they're asking for. Can we make it fit within our financial structure? You touched on the housing, like what are their housing needs, or do they have a spouse, a significant other? So there's a lot of things that go into it, not only finding the right piece, but it's the right package that'll fit within our club.
And it's a salary cap. We have to adhere to the rules of the league, and we have Charlie is out, but we don't want to put him on the IR because if he's on the IR, he has to sit out 28 days, but he could be back in 7. So you're playing a game at Chester as well. Sanchi is not on the IR. So their salary, even though they're playing, counts to the cap. So people who think we can wave a magic wand, we have to be cap compliant.
No, 100%. And that's been the toughest, challenge, trying to find these key pieces to add is kind of their demands. And, you go after quality players, and obviously the asking price this time of the year is high. And so we're trying to find the right pieces. We got some feelers out, and hopefully we can add a few key pieces before the deadline.
And again, it's not an excuse. We know everyone's dealing with adversity. Everyone's dealing with their own injuries and stuff. But Belfast are coming in here. They're without those GB players. We're without Lacko, of course. We should mention what a job Craig Peacock did the other night, winning face-offs, killing penalties, and it was great. I mean, it's your kind of first. I know Peaks a long time, but just talk a little bit about Peaks. This is again. Let's get on the positive train here. I mean, Peaks really stepped in and did a job in Guildford.
Yeah, no, I got nothing bad to say about Peaks. Obviously, as an individual, a person, and his play in Guildford, I think he's a high level hockey player. The way he thinks the game, and I think that benefited him to be able to step in. He said he felt the change of pace, obviously, right away. But other than that, like his face, obviously, he's a smart hockey player. So I was able to use him, at center and on the wing, on the PK. Anything I needed or asked of him to do, he did and did very well. So credit to him. I wish like moving forward we could have him a little bit more when we're banged up. So that might be a possibility here down the stretch to be able to call him up more.
Craig Peacock did a real good job in face-offs, and to be out there on the PK all of a sudden, and it's no disrespect to the NIHL, but let's be honest, the pace is night and day, but he was able to find a gear as the game went on, I guess.
Yeah, I know. It's always different. I remember going from level to level back when I was a player, and that's the first thing you notice is like how fast everything happens and the level of quickness, how they think the game, to the lower level. So, but I think an easy adjustment just because of the talent and hockey sense he has. He adjusted great for it.
Morgie, you've played in the NHL, you've played throughout Europe, you've coached, you've won championships in Europe, you've won a Calder Cup, you've got a Calder Cup ring from your playing days. This season, have you learned, did you think that, wow, I've been to all these levels, have you learned anything that's really kind of made you sit up and go, every time you think you have this game figured out, every day is a school day and you learn something new or you figure something else up about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think every year in this game, I think you have to learn. I think you constantly got to be a student of the game, and I think the game's evolving. And year to year, it's like you listen to different podcasts or shows or whatever, and you say like, oh, what worked for one hockey team or what worked in this country would work in this, and it's not always the case. I mean, so you always got to be willing to adapt, and I find that's with my playing career and playing at so many different levels in Europe and North America, and now coaching in so many different countries, I think I have that ability just to adjust and adapt to kind of, what you need. And, I have a good relationship with the guys. I'm constantly, in tune with them to get a vibe of the room. And but you can never learn, you can never stop learning, or you'll be out of the game.
Okay, well, look, we'll let you go. I know you're battling. We won't even tell people the full extent to what the sickness is, but you've done well. There's not even a chair in that room. The chair went disappearing, so you're standing there trying to keep your body together. I appreciate it. It's easy to do these things when you're winning, but we're not winning right now. So you come out and you answer these questions. I'm a positive guy. I think the fan base, 99.99%, but that's everywhere. If you talk to Cardiff, the management there's always a few people who want to make it personal and use language. And to those people, I say, just come up and talk to me. But for the broad spectrum of people, they're enjoying it. Yes, we all want to win more games. That's obvious, again, as the nose on your face. But let's go out tomorrow night. Let's try and get a win against Belfast. And I know the guys are doing everything. You and Jeff Batt are doing everything to try and get wins. No one's happy with losing. And again, you could ask, you said your wife and kids. My wife and kids don't want to be around me recently. Luckily, I was in Glasgow for the watch party and not at home watching it when we lost in Guildford the other night. But it's not for lack of trying, and that includes trying to improve the hockey team. Or, it's not like we're sitting there going, well, we won't do anything. So the point is, you've come on here. You're not well. I appreciate it. It's easy for you and I to talk when things are going well. It's not going well right now, but that doesn't mean that we won't turn this around. And I appreciate your time today, Morgie.
Yeah, appreciate it, Murph. Anytime, bud.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Best of luck this weekend.
Okay. Thank you.